This is the story of a trophy for the world, a journey, a dream.
Well, viewers, so today makes it exactly 4 days before the first game of Qatar 2022 will begin. With that, I welcome you to today's episode of Sports Orbit. My name is Afa Acho, and with Salif Usman today, we shall continue our preview of the groups in the World Cup as it begins in a couple of days' time. Salifu, welcome to the program today.
Thank you, my son. Thank you.
All right, on the episode of the also our colleague Wale Ayeni also joining us all the way from the UK. Sorry, Wale, I almost forgot you. I'm good to see you, Wale. 4 days to Qatar 2022.
Of course, good afternoon, Alpha. Good afternoon, Salifu. Good afternoon to everyone in the studio. Yes, 4 days, and we are afternoon feeling the FIFA here, right here in London, England. At this point in time, the England fans are happy. Some of them are making their way to Qatar at this point in time, and the World Cup is in the air at this point, Alpha.
But unfortunately, the story is not the same here back home. Because Nigerian fans are not even feeling that the World Cup is coming at all.
Yes.
Because our own ego is not part of the. It's not part of. It's not going to be part of the party.
Of course, it's just so sad now that all our players are firing all cylinders across Europe and will not be going to the World Cup. But we're still going to have like a taste of it when we play, Portugal later tomorrow. We just have like a taste of what we should expect from the World Cup.
All right, so today we'll be looking at both Group E and Group F, but first we'll start with Group E, which seems a very, very heavy group, which has Germany, two former champions in that group, Germany, Spain, Asian powerhouse, Japan is there, and also Costa Rica. First off, Germany head to Qatar without that aura of invisibility they've had before. They were eliminated 4 years ago in Russia in the group stages and suffered an early exit from Euro 2020 after losing out to England. That defeat ended Joachim Löw's 15 years in charge. New manager Hansi Flick replaced him in August 2021. The former Bayern Munich manager won the treble with the German Giants in 2020, including the Champions League final, which was delayed due to COVID-19. Looking at this group, heavyweight group, Germany, Spain, Japan, Costa Rica, on paper, like I always say, on paper, you can easily sleep and say Germany and Spain are already in the round of 16. But looking at football as it is, Japan is certainly not a pushover. Same for Costa Rica, is not a team that you ride, a rough shot over.
Yeah, I'd just like to say it's a group. If you
almost a group of death, but not completely.
But almost a group of
death.
Not completely a group of death. But it's also a group of death in the sense that therefore it's a group of death for people like for Japan and for Costa Rica.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you're fans of the Costa Rica or players of the Costa Rica, you'll not be too comfortable when the draw was made.
Very well.
The house with Spain and Germany. If you look at whatever you may say of Germany, just like you said, they are beating streak, the visibility they used to have before, they are no longer there. But if you look at Germany's squad, any day, anytime, the Germans are always the top knock for crack. And going to this World Cup, Germany, if you look at their recent performance, they are the champions of the 2014. They came to the Russia 2018 World Cup. They couldn't even go beyond the group stage. They get knocked out. Even the Europe 2020, they were not fair. They were knocked out in the round of 16, losing out to Italy. And then even in the Europe Nation League, they were also not too very convincing in their performance. But if you look at the German squad and look at the German is always the German anytime. And definitely, you definitely see that the German, no matter how you look at this group, you definitely will want to put your money on the Germans that they have a chance to progress to the next round of this competition.
Yeah. Yeah, while looking at this group, like I said before, Germany, Spain, Japan, Salif just spoke about Germany. Looking at Spain, the other heavyweight in this group, do you think Spain has what it takes? Because in recent times, yes, Spain, a whole new set of, a whole new generation of players have come through the ranks, but have Spain been really convincing to you? And looking at what their performance in the Euro and also in the Euro Nations League, will you say Spain has what it takes to, you know, go all the way? Might not win the cup, but do you think they have what it takes to make a solid impact in this competition?
Of course, no doubt about it. Spain has won the World Cup. They were 2010, champions. That is the only year that they have actually won the World Cup. We are looking forward for them to actually, put an impressive performance in this, particular competition. No doubt about it. Their pedigree when it comes to the World Cup is not in doubt. Looking at the players that they have called for the 26-man list, going to the World Cup, I would say it's not a bad one, but them actually look at the striking force because Morata has not scored a goal in the World Cup. Some of
Yeah.
the players also have not scored a goal in the World Cup, like two key strikers playing for Spain, and they're yet to record their name in the scoring sheet. So they might actually get to look at it. And also, the coach Luis Enrique has actually, for me, he has recruited most of the Barcelona players into the squad. So, and those players are mix of experience and young players. So I feel the team is kind of balanced at this point in time. What they need is for them to gel. If they're able to gel together, I see them, making it up to the semi-final. And who knows, anything can happen. Maybe they can just actually, bring back that force that they had when they actually, won the World Cup right there in South Africa. But at this point in time, no doubt about it, Germany is a superpower when it comes to football. Four times, World Cup champions. We see how they've been able to, put up impressive performance. The last time they won was in 2014 against Argentina. 2018, we thought they were going to come, and give us that impressive performance we they had in the previous one, but they actually crashed out in the group stages. But it's just so sad for them in that particular one. But this side is a new team at this point. They have a mix of young players and experienced players. For me, they don't really have like a top nine. They have like a force, nine in their particular team because there's no a lone striker. The likes of Sani, the likes of Gabi, the likes of Adeyemi, Thomas Muller also is not is not for me, he's not a top-notch striker that was expecting, but he gets to turn out, goals, no doubt about it, for Bayern Munich. So it's going to be a cracker, no doubt about it. For me, I would say that is the group of death. Don't underrate Japan. We saw how they were going to make it into the quarterfinals in the last edition. They were actually defeated by Belgium in that particular one. Just some few minutes to go in that particular game, and they were sent packing from Russia. So we should not underrate them. Also, they might go there and spring up surprises because they have been finishing. In the top two of those competitions that they have actually not qualified the last time, but they have not actually not passed the round of 16. So maybe this time they want to intensify their efforts in the previous one. They have good players playing in across Europe. Arsenal in Liverpool. Minamino is playing for Liverpool. Tasomia also that plays for Arsenal. So they have good players. I feel they can also come to the party. Costa Rica also. They are one of the good team when it comes to the North American continent, which has the likes of USA and Mexico. But I'm pretty sure that they are going to not going to make up the numbers when the group stage starts. Every game is very very important, so I feel they will fight for every minute of the game when they start the group stages. Alpha.
Mm. All right. Another team in that group also, Asian heavyweights Japan are also in that group. Somehow, for the Japanese, even when they, hosted alongside South Korea, they've now made it beyond, round of 16, even as hosts with Korea in 2002. Now, looking at they coming up against two former champions in Germany and Spain, who are clearly the favorites to make it out of this group. Do you think Japan will stand a chance in this group, especially looking at their previous record, 98 group stage, 2002 round of 16, '06 group stage, 2010 round of 16, 2014 group stage, 2018 round of 16. So they have always been group stage following World Cup round of 16. So since they were in the round of 16 last time, maybe this time will be group stage.
Well, Alpha football doesn't go like that.
Yeah.
The fact that they'll be always okay, they drop that, then they come back, they come back. Since they make it last 4 years ago, they'll drop back. I don't think it's definitely going to be so. But if you one day that will give the people like country like team like Japan and Costa Rica a slim of hope that they can make to the next round of the competition, is like if you look at the strengths of the German at the moment, if you look at the strength of the Spanish national team at the moment, the Japanese could beat their chest as well. Spain are not what are not what they used to be. Unlike before, if you look at the Spain anywhere and right from the defense line up to the attacking line, they are all top class players.
Yeah.
If you look at the defense line, what they used to be like the plan of Puyo, like Pique Ramos. They come to the midfield, you have the Iniesta, they have the Jabi, the rest, and then go to the attacking line, Torres, David B, and also, but the present spot of the Spanish, in as much as I'm not that they don't look at them as very young, but they don't command that kind of pedigree what their predecessors or their senior players, the player before them have. So that set of players of Spain that won the World Cup, all of them have instead this set of Spanish national team. The other person, people were hoping that Sergio Ramos will be added to the team to bring experience to the back line. But unfortunately, the coach thought it otherwise. That he doesn't deserve. And but when the coach to beat his chest, I don't need Ramos. It clearly shows us what he believed. He clearly shows us he believed what he have at the moment. So, but I think that the Japans, if they're based on this, Spain are not what they used to be. They can beat the chest as well. We can. If we put our hands together, just like Wally says, Spanish have some decent players who are playing in the Premier League, playing play for Arsenal, play for Liverpool, so and even so they definitely think that they can meet with the progress of that. Football is a game of level versus level. So if the Spanish play their game and play their card well, football is full of offsets. They can create an offset in that group. So if you see Japan in the next round of the competition, you shouldn't be surprised because it can quickly happen. And another thing that. And one thing that, and if one thing that another thing that if you underrate Spain, on the belief that they don't have the kind of stars they used to have, you may be used at your own peril. If you look at the Europe, if you look at the last Europe 2020 play last year, they were knocked out in the quarterfinal. They lose just by penalty. Not that Italians were better than them on the pitch, but just like they were unlucky and they lose that game on penalty to Italy. So that clearly shows that Spain still have what it takes to do well at the World Cup. But one thing that I believe that I will not write Japan off completely. They have the chance, but it all depends on them, just like what is it, how they play their card well. But the only team I feel will not stand any chance in this group. Well, apologies to them, but I don't think Costa Rica, whatever they are bringing to the party, they will not be able. I don't think they'll be able to meet. If I see Costa Rica in the next round of the competition, then that will be a good set at the World Cup.
Don't worry, we'll come back and talk more about Costa Rica when we come back from this break. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit. Yeah, before we went on that group, for Salifu, from what he said, looks like he has written off Costa Rica completely. But don't forget that Costa Rica were a quarter-finalist in 2014 in Brazil. Do you share Salifu's, shall I say, pessimism or doubt about Costa Rica, really causing any havoc in this group that has, these two former world champions?
Of course, Costa Rica, for me, Costa Rica and Japan are the underdogs in that particular group because they already have big names when it comes to players who are actually playing. So Spain and Germany will not have anybody to mark. So it's just going to be like you playing some players that you don't even know them very, very well. So anything can still happen. If Costa Rica can play like a team, play for themselves, I feel they can upset Spain, they can upset Germany, who knows that they can even upset Japan in that particular one. So I don't want to actually write any team off in that particular group for now. Let's get to see the first game, and from the first game, then from there we can now start permutating that this particular team will come out of. But for on paper, we all know that the teams likely to make it out of that group will be Germany and Spain. But do not rule out the likes of Japan and Costa Rica. They might actually give you a run for your money. Alpha.
Yeah. All right. So now that's that. So I would take a look at Group F. For me, Group F has Canada, Belgium, the other African representative, Morocco, in that one, and also first time Canada, who are qualifying for the first time since 1982. I mean, straight up for me, except something miraculously happens in this group. Belgium and Croatia are already up to the round of 16. But like we say, if wishes were horses, even beggars will ride. But Salifu, this is football. But for me, I think Belgium, Croatia, because Morocco, yes, as an African, you want to be sympathetic with them. But Morocco haven't been convincing in previous World Cup, even the Nations Cup. Then for Canada, newcomers, of course, one of few players coming through who play in Europe are already in the Canadian teams. But looking at this group realistically, first of all, let's start with Belgium. Perennial underachievers always go to, in fact, for the last 10 years, Belgium has witnessed what we call a golden generation, but they have not been able to show much for it in terms of winning laurels.
Yeah, just like say, and it will be a big disappointment for the Belgians.
Because this World Cup might look like they are the last chance of the last golden generations
of players fade away without any major achievement. As we are beginning to see some of them going out already. People like Mr. Coppin is already out. People like
Lukaku
is still very much around. People like Vermelin is already out. And several others are beginning to go out. The Hansa, this may be his last walk. If it's not his last walk, this may be the walk that he still be relative at his prime. So, but if you look at Belgium or Shibas, and it's only team that is always a near, almost come closer, but nearly cannot kill a bed. But and one thing is you have to see that if you look at the Belgium in the last 8 years, they have made steady progress. And every World Cup they come, they make a step. At the 2014, they were in the quarter final. They come to 2018, they get to the semi-final. So the next ball stop is the final. So everybody is pleased as well. They make a step from 2014 to the quarter semi-final. Now the next ball stop for them now, after facing the semi-final in 2020, is to get to the final this year. And if you look at the Belgians, they have what is stake in terms of playing personnel. With their biggest star is Kevin De Bruyne of Man City, and several other players. Although even in the attacking line, we were still casting doubt about the fit of the Lukaku and the form of the Hazard, who is the captain at the moment. But still, you still give away.
I mean, very important players. I mean, the likes of De Bruyne, Wilshere, Alderweireld, Tielemans, Trossard, Onana, so many players. I mean, outstanding talent.
Outstanding talent in the Belgium. So, and if you look at Belgium, they maintain for ranking for almost consistently for more than years until recently when Brazil overtook them. And currently they are the second best ranked team in the world. So I agree with you. If you look at the team, and I'll be surprised if Belgium didn't go out for that group, but they still have over 100% chance to qualify from this group. That is sure.
Well, quickly looking at Belgium before we go to Canada, like Salifu rightly said, always getting close, but do you think this might just be their year? Do you think they can take it one more step closer this year?
I feel they have the quality of players to actually do that. The likes of Kevin De Bruyne, who is for me is the brain box behind the Manchester City team at this point in time, can help them. If Lukaku is fit and very well in shape, I feel the connection between him and Kevin De Bruyne is very very good. I feel if both players can connect very well, I see Belgium scoring a lot of goals, and also they have good wingers the likes of Carrasco that play for Atletico Madrid. They have these the Eden Hazard brothers, Eden Hazard and also his brothers also plays for the national team. So I feel they have a robust team that can actually go all the way to play in the final. So and they also have a well experienced coach. He has coached in the Premier League. Talking about Roberto Mantini, he has coached in the Premier League. He has gone to the team to the World Cup in the last edition. Also have the likes of Thierry Henry, supporting the team. Someone who has actually won the World Cup. So I feel they have the experience, the bench. They have good quality that can able to see them through winning the World Cup. If they don't get to win this World Cup, just as you guys have said in the studio, then I feel it will be difficult for them getting to win due to the fact that they have quality players. This is the golden generation for Belgium. They has been in the World Cup for 13 times at this point, and I feel this time around they are just they must just show class and show the rest of the world that they have been in the top when it comes to the FIFA ranking for a very long time. I feel they should actually justify why they have been ranked as the number one team in the world for a very very long time. Alpha.
So next up, looking at Canada, made only one appearance ever in the World Cup, which was in 1982. But looking at Canada on their way to this World Cup, in the CONCACAF group, that has United States, Mexico, Costa Rica, Canada actually topped that group ahead of USA and Mexico, who are the powers when it comes to that group. And here they are in the same group with, alongside Belgium. And do you think Canada will make an impression in this World Cup? Second appearance.
Yeah, just like you said, making an appearance almost about 40 years after.
Yeah.
After they make their debut at the World Cup and coming back 40 years after. And if you look at the way they qualify, it was a great surprise for everybody. Qualifying ahead of the like of Mexico, qualify ahead of the US. And so definitely, if you try to underrate them and looking at them as a minor, you may be doing so at your own peril. So, but ordinarily, any bookmakers or any bettor would really know want to put his money on the Canada, but the Canadians believe in themselves and they think that they are coming to this World Cup with a great surprise and believing that they can be the chance that they will be able to do something because qualify ahead of Canada, Mexicans and ahead of Mexico, who is one of the big teams in that region, and then the US clearly show that they will definitely believe they say yes, if we play as a team and in football, World Cup and our teamwork. Football is all about a teamwork.
Yeah.
Well, no matter how no matter what your quality, either you have the top quality, but if you agree to play as a team and you not as a team, you will be able to achieve results. And I think Canada, on they have a chance, but it's pretty difficult.
It's very difficult. Yeah, looking at our African representatives, Morocco, Wale, this will be their fifth appearance in the World Cup, but for all the World Cups they've been to, you can't really write much about Morocco, which has been their highlight in every World Cup. So do you think this will still be the same, or maybe because they are a bit close to, the Middle East, maybe that will be some sort of home advantage for them, of course, similarities in language and all of that. Will that, really count for something for Morocco?
No doubt about that. Morocco are a very distant, country when it comes to football. Looking at our squad, going to the World Cup, they had the likes of Hakim who plays for PSG, like the likes of Ziyech who play for Chelsea. So I feel they still have a whole lot of players, coming from their local league. But I still believe that they can actually go there and show class. The bottom line is, I feel if they can defeat the likes of Canada and Croatia, which will be very, very difficult. I feel they stand a chance to actually progress to that particular group. But if they cannot defeat the likes of Croatia, the likes of Canada, I don't think them, moving out from that particular group. They might just be headed back home. But we don't want to see that happen. We want to see, an African side, going all the way to win the World Cup. Who said an African side can win the World Cup this time around? But let's just see how it pounds out. But I feel if they can able to play as a team with their, crops of some crop of players who they have in the house now, I feel if they can able to defeat the likes of, as I've mentioned, Canada and Croatia, I feel they stand a chance of progressing from that group.
All right, finally in Group F, last year's finally silver winning medal team, talking about Croatia, once again making it to the World Cup for the 5th time. I mean, in Russia, they came really, really close, only to be edged out by France. Don't forget that on their way to the finals, they, push aside the likes of Argentina and England on the way to the final. And in that final, at a point in that, because of that game, it looked like they were going to win it, but somehow it didn't go their way. Look, this time around, and don't forget in Euro, the last Euro, yes, in the round of 16, they couldn't go past that. But once again, Croatia are here again. Do you think they'll be able to, have that fantastic run they had in 2018?
Yeah, just like I said, 2018 is it's a 4 year difference.
Yeah.
A whole lot of things has passed in between. And if you look at the kind of Croatia was a surprise team at the Russia World Cup,
very well.
2018. But unfortunately, I don't think nobody will think that. I don't assume or hope so that Croatia will be able to replicate that same form in this Qatar World Cup. But they will come with another surprise package. Because if you look at them, their main man, the stylist man, Luka Modric, who was the star player, and then from that 2018 went ahead to become one of the best players of the year, win the Ballon d'Or. That year. But if you look at his age, he's no longer on his side. Or if you look at his performance last season,
still playing at the highest level.
Still at the highest level. He was still almost the brain behind the Madrid success. If you accredit the Madrid success to him and Karim Benzema, you will not be wrong. Because it was fantastic. And one still believe that he still have that thing to still push the team forward. But Croatia, it will not be difficult for them to progress from this group stage. But to repeat that same form of 2018, it will be a great surprise for everyone to see.
Wale, quickly, your take on Croatia.
Of course, no doubt about it. A very, very experienced team. I feel this is the time for them to win the World Cup because the likes of Luka Modric, the likes of Perisic, the likes of Kovacic, the likes of Rebic, all of them, they are actually, moving towards the end of their career. I feel if they can able to hold their own in this particular one with, the experience that they actually got in the last final, I feel they can go all the way and win it. Do not actually rule them out of this, a particular World Cup. So all the best start to Croatia, Alpha.
Right, that's that for that. But quickly before we leave, just some news where NFF President Ibrahim Kusau has said that he will not discriminate against the selection of any Nigerian player born anywhere in the world into Nigeria's national team. That's according to Communications Director at Ademola and Olajuwon. He stated this on Wednesday. He said the clarification becomes necessary in view of an incorrect report that has been given wings by sections of the media who had insinuated that the NFF president spoke of an impending war against foreign-born or foreign-based players as far as selection into the national teams is concerned. Well, we hope that is the case. Well, Salifu, thank you for being with me on this edition of our Qatar Countdown, where we looked at Group E and F.
Thank you,
Of course, Wale, also thank you for joining us and hope you will join us more frequently these days as we continue to count down to Qatar.
Of course, I'll be happy, to join you guys from here in London to talk about the World Cup. Many thanks to Alpha and Salifu and also everyone in the studio and my colleagues right there in the office.
All right, that's that for that. So viewers, until come your way tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll give you that'll be Group G and H tomorrow. So exactly. Expect another interesting package in those two groups. Well, my name is Afa Cho. Until come your way tomorrow again. Do stay safe out there, and it's bye for now.
This is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey, a dream,